Hey there traders, thanks for joining me for this free video from thestockbandit.com. Sure glad that you made it, and I want to just take a look here at the overall market. We're going to review the indices here, really the four biggies as I refer to them, which is the NASDAQ, the S&P, the Russell 2000 Small Cap Index, and the Dow 30. So the Dow is really at the bottom of my list. It's only 30 stocks, but this is what we do every week here. It's really where the trading week should begin. You got to know what the overall market's doing, kind of what the prevailing conditions are before you can really narrow down a strategy for how to trade it. Because we know so many stocks are correlated to market movement, so this is really where the trading week should begin. So last week, we saw the market give back some territory, pulled back here, and generally stayed range bound. We saw the NASDAQ give up this 2600 level, which is the only index that cracked an important level last week. However, we did see some wedges get resolved to the downside, so I'll touch on those momentarily. But for the NASDAQ, we broke through this 2600 level on Thursday. We continued slightly lower on Friday, but we're holding right now above this 2555, which was support back here during the latter portion of October. And it was also the initial bounce high here in early August. So that's continued to be an important level to take note of. If we are able to hold this 2555 area, then we will first need to reclaim this 2600 area on the way back up. Then we've got room back to this 2705 area and then 2740, both of which have been important levels multiple times this year. Here's the 2705, and then here's the 2740. And you can see all those touches of these trend lines. Now, for the NASDAQ, if we do happen to break this 2555 to the downside, we've got this unfilled gap right here, which extends down to 2479. One other note, this week is obviously Thanksgiving week. That means it's a holiday shortened week, which means people's minds are on traveling to see family or welcoming family into town, or just stuffing their faces and watching football on TV. You know, it really is a week that's only rivaled by July 4th week in terms of super light volume. So this week, we're going to start off most likely with light volume, and it's only going to get lighter as the week progresses. So be very mindful of that this week. It's a good week to be highly selective. It's also a good week to really reduce your trading size in order to kind of offset that risk of less liquidity. In terms of liquidity, you want buyers there when you go to sell. You want sellers there when you go to buy, and there's going to be fewer of them this week. So people are moving away from the screens, and those who are still trading are mindful of this, and they're going to be trading smaller as well. So it really is just kind of that effect of Thanksgiving week being really light. So there's the levels for the NASDAQ. S&P last week came down. It's testing this 1208 area. We got to 1209 and change on Thursday, and then 1211 on Friday. So this is the big level right here that we're holding. That's the lower end of this range. 1208 was this initial bounce high here in early August. And since we've gotten through that level, we've seen it hold as some support here. Now, we did resolve this wedge here, these blue trend lines, to the downside last week. You could call it a symmetrical triangle as well. That was resolved to the downside, but it may simply prove to be a sideshow if this 1208 area is able to hold. Because again, the bigger picture here that we're watching is this trading range where price is moving laterally. Okay, this was kind of something on the radar of a lot of traders. So if we are able to hold 1208, we're likely to head back up and test these two trend lines. That's the upper descending trend line right along the highs here, drawn to the downside. That really corresponds with this 1258. Which was June support here for the S&P. So that's what we're going to be watching. If we do crack this 1208 to the downside, then the next stop is most likely going to be this 1190 area, which was kind of mid-October support. Okay, moving on. Russell also breaking down from this wedge, but really not making any continued progress to the downside. We broke it on Thursday and then stayed flat on Friday, actually up a hair, but not enough to matter. So really 718 is this lower area right here that we've been holding. That was the initial August bounce high. It was tested again as resistance several weeks later, and since we've gotten through that level, we've seen it serve as some support. So right there is where we are for the Russell. If we rally back up, this descending trend line in blue is going to be the spot to watch. That's about 748, and then beyond that is 772, which, as you know from watching these videos every week here, 772 has been a major level this year. So that's where we are for the Russell. And then finally for the Dow, we broke this wedge to the downside on Thursday, but we haven't really made any continued progress here. And so we're still just kind of hanging around here for the Dow. We did test this 11,650 area, all right? That was mid-October resistance. Since then, it's turned into support, and you can see how important that level is right there. So we're holding above that. We got within about 26 points of it on Thursday. We've seen a little bit of a lift from there, but really, if we're able to turn back up and reclaim this 11,860 area, which was right there, June support, and then has kind of been at a level here of late. It's also corresponding with this rising trend line where we broke there last week. If we reclaim that, then the next stop is possibly a move back up to the upper end of this range. But really, it's just kind of an indecisive market right now, and then you throw in the holiday this week, and it's likely to remain somewhat choppy unless we get some real market moving news that is actually able to stick. Okay, we've seen lots of news and lots of knee-jerk reactions in this market, but they've all been kind of one-day things, and then we kind of fizzle out and then maybe reverse. So such is the nature of a trading range. So thank you for joining me this week for this free video. I will have more for you here soon. By the way, stop by thestockbandit.com, check out the free trial. We'd love to have you and show you what we're all about. Other than that, trade like a bandit.